Madame Fornero va s'exprimer en anglais. Vous la pardonnerez,
Oui.
elle comprend très bien le français.
Je commence en français, mais après, je préfère parler l'anglais parce que j'ai plus de confiance dans ma capacité avec l'anglais. Alors, bonjour à tous et à toutes, et c'est un grand honneur pour moi d'être ici, et maintenant avec l'anglais. When I received the invitation, I was struck by the question, when was trust lost? And I immediately thought of a personal answer. When I was in government, I've been in government for a year and a half, and I was responsible of the labor ministry in charge of the pension and the labor market reforms. And I signed 2 reforms, and they're still there. One has been surpassed by another law. The other one is being, well, apparently canceled, but it's not true. It's still there. Although with all the rhetoric of the new government, the law is still there, even if the retirement age has been reduced again for 3 years, just for 3 years. And this gives you an idea of the strategic view of the present government. But I was struck by the question because I immediately thought of two occasions in which I said to my own Prime Minister, Mario Monti, I remember I used the term, Mario, we are losing the country. Because being the labor minister, it means that you are near the people. And you perceive, if you are not stupid, you perceive their sentiments. And we, at the beginning, had a lot of trust. People thought that we could somehow change the direction in which the government was moving with respect to, let's say, 20 years before, not just the Great Recession, but the former 20 years. And so there was a lot of trust. Then we did the reforms. The word is crucial to me, reform, because I think of myself in politics, and I've never been a politician except for participation in a government, but as a reformist. So we did reforms in difficult circumstances. And why was it that we could not convince the people, the citizens, that those reforms, although not perfect, because no reform is born perfect, that those reforms could be used as an instrument for good change, that the reforms are not done against the people, but to improve the situation, to improve the functioning of the labor market, to improve the sustainability of the pension system, which is a social contract, not only for present generations, but also for future generations. To improve our social structures and also our institutional structure. So what was wrong? And well, we could say, but it's the wrong answer, we could say that in a way we exchanged people's confidence, people trust in ourselves with trust by financial markets. So there is a trade-off. You want to have the confidence of financial markets because you are a country with a large debt, and this means that you have to pay a very high interest rate, and that confidence is essential. And in that, which was named austerity by the press, by the media, austerity, and by that, you lose the confidence of the people. But this is not and cannot be the reason. Because if you really believe that you need to change the labor market, that you need to address with respect to aging, to the economic crisis, to the change in the labor market. You need to change your pension system. That is essential. So my idea, and this I worked on this, is that people have to understand the word reforms. Reforms are not far. If you present them as austerity, they are far and against the people. But if you present reforms as social investments, as I've tried to do later when I've left the ministry, then people understand. So I mean, a reform is something which can be almost technical, but then it needs communication. I don't like particularly the word narrative. Today, everything is just a narrative. I say communication, transparent communication, dialogue, social dialogue is essential, people participation. And then also the availability towards cutting privileges. Because if you do a reform, and if the establishment tries to keep the privileges, and we had many, then that is not right. So you have to convince the people of this. And it is possible. It is possible if you involve the people, because nowadays we know that people do not participate in social, this was what you said at the beginning, does not participate in social and democratic life by political, let's say, participation in a party. No, they participate as individuals. And so you need to convince. And so I think that the trust that we lost and that moved towards the populist, and we are a country where the populists are in government, and they are very, very near the people, but it's a very short-term trust. And so I think the battle is not lost, and we have to work hard to convince the people that it's not policy just for today that matters, but policies towards the future also.